Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the organelle called the mitochondria. Now, mitochondria, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. These are known as the energy factory of the body. Now, the structure of the mitochondria is very interesting. It, sort of has a pill-like oval shape with an outer phospholipid bilayer membrane. So all the organelles in the cell, just like the cell membrane itself, are made up of have a membrane of their own that's made up of a phospholipid bilayer membrane. Now the mitochondrial phospholipid bilayer membrane, just like the cell membrane, has lots and lots of protein pores. And this allows charged molecules and large molecules to pass freely into the mitochondria. All right, now the mitochondria is interesting because it has a second phospholipid bilayer membrane. And this one is very tortuous. So this membrane, I'm only going to draw one layer of the phospholipid bilayer membrane here. But it's very tortuous like this. And this tortuous membrane creates sort of this matrix on the inside. And this matrix provides lots and lots of surface area, and the surfaces of the matrix are studded with enzymes. And these enzymes, as you remember, enzymes are proteins that speed or catalyze the reaction of different chemical reactions, two different substrates. Okay, so there's lots and lots of these enzymes studying the inner matrix of mitochondria. Now, the goal of these, now what happens is the mitochondria will allow in certain molecules, particularly glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids. And these substrates, these high-energy substrates, will dissolve through into the matrix of the mitochondria, and it'll start to work its way through the matrix. So here we have, say we have a glucose molecule here, and it's going to work its way up against a enzyme. Now, at the same time, oxygen is also going to be dissolved in, and the glucose and the oxygen are the glucose molecules and the oxygen molecules are going to meet at an enzyme, and the enzyme is going to catalyze a reaction. And this reaction is going to break down the high energy bonds of the glucose and release the energy. And this is going to go, this occurs in a reaction, a series of reactions actually, because it's going to keep going past enzymes. And the series of reactions is known as the Krebs cycle, and I'm not going to get into all the details of the Krebs cycle. But what happens is the glucose and the oxygen combine, go through a series of reactions, and the glucose is broken down piece by piece. And the end result is lots of carbon dioxide, lots of water produced, and most importantly, lots and lots of energy. Now, what does the mitochondria do with energy? It is using the energy to, here I'm going to zoom out here so we can see what we're writing. It is going to use the energy to change a molecule of adenosine diphosphate into adenosine triphosphate. And this is all happening somewhere in here as the energy gets released. Now, okay, so the whole goal of the reaction, the released energy, of releasing energy from glucose, amino acids, or fatty acids, is to release energy and then store it in a high energy bond of a third phosphate group being added to adenosine diphosphate and being translated into adenosine triphosphate. Now, adenosine triphosphate is just an efficient way for the body to store energy because adenosine phosphate is an unstable molecule and it releases its energy very, very easily. So mitochondria are essentially the energy factories of the body. They generate energy by breaking down high energy bonds in glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids, and then using that energy to create a new high energy bond by bonding a phosphate to adenosine diphosphate and turning it into adenosine triphosphate.